Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl again, absolutely April. I'm here for another recap. We are doing Married to Medicine and we are on episode 9. So we are moving along. Um, I would say, before I do that, welcome back to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you for subscribing and joining the tribe. For those of you who have not subscribed, why not? Come on, join the tribe. It's fun. So, join the tribe, subscribe to my channel, like this video so you can get more content and more content like mine. Also, I want you to comment, interact with me because I do respond. I try to be, engaging. Because I like to have fun and I like to get other perspectives and I enjoy your feedback. So, thank you. Also, I just want to let you know we are going to do Married at First Sight coming up this week. I'm thinking about doing a cool little topic and definitely want to get y'all's engagement on that and get your perspective. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. We are on episode number, 9. So, I am so happy that we are moving along on this Married to Medicine journey because this episode to me was very lackluster. I'm sorry, and I enjoy my medicine wives, but I found myself tuning out. I did some grocery shopping on Instacart. I was doing all type of stuff while Married to Medicine was on, and it just didn't really hold my attention as much as it should have. But we're here, so we're going to discuss it. There are a few things that that did catch my attention, and I do have some opinions on. So, like I said, let's go ahead and get into the recap. Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon were at Dr. Damon's second location. So he has not one but two pain management locations for his practice. So Dr. Damon is balling. So Contessa, I don't know, maybe you don't make the same thing as Dr. Damon because I think you only have one practice and you share it with your husband. So Dr. Damon has two practices by himself. Dr. I can't talk. So Dr. Heavenly asked Dr. Damon how he felt about the dinner at Dr. Simone's. And he said he didn't feel good about it. He was trying to be the peacemaker and it kind of went left. Dr. Heavenly also apologizes and says she didn't mean to disrespect him, but she just wanted to, I guess, in essence, protect them, but she should have listened to what he's saying because that was disrespectful for not listening. Now, a lot of people will probably have issues with what Dr. Heavenly is saying, like, if you're a grown woman, you don't have to do that. But Dr. Heavenly, if you notice, Dr. Heavenly got a lot of mouth for everybody else. But when it comes to Dr. Damon, she is meek. She is mild. She, has the look, okay, Dad. She's not giving him the rah-rah that Dr. Heavenly normally gives anybody else. She's giving Dr. Damon, meek and mild. She's just really stroking his ego. She's touching him. She's giving him eye contact. She's being, humble. And that's all a part of Dr. Heavenly. She believes in submission. And that I think that's a part of how she submits to Dr. Damon. And I feel like submission can go both ways. But I think in this instance, Dr. Heavenly wanted to kind of smooth things over because she saw where she went wrong and she just didn't want to keep that tiff going on with Dr. Damon. And she also wanted to check in with him. So she brought him lunch and they discussed it. I feel like it's a perfect example of a married couple. What Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon did, they talked about it when cooler heads prevailed and they both spoke from their perspective and they both apologized to each other because Dr. Heavenly says that, she was dealing with some things with her mom and she shouldn't have allowed that to get her to the point where she was yelling and screaming. And Dr. Damon readily apologized and said, no, I should have looked at it from your perspective and know you were dealing with something. So they're basically apologizing to each other. They care a lot for each other. You could tell through the screen. So I really enjoyed this. Everybody is not into this way of marriage, and that's okay because every marriage is different. Your marriage is your marriage. Their marriage is their marriage. This is what works for them, and you have to find out what works for your marriage. And in my marriage with my late husband, we we talked about everything. We didn't really argue and yell at each other. We didn't really lose our temper with each other. We discussed things. Sometimes when I would get to a certain point where I knew that we were going round and round and I was getting annoyed and I felt like the conversation could go left, that's when I was like, okay, let's talk about it another time. Let me calm down a little bit. Let me walk away. But it took some time to get to that point because he wanted to rectify the situation. He was very solution oriented. So he wanted to always get a solution. And sometimes there isn't a solution. Sometimes the solution is just what it is I believe what I believe, you believe what you believe. We're going to have to agree to disagree. That's the solution. So you just have to be mindful of that. Everything doesn't have to be right and wrong. Marriage is can be very black and white at times. And so it's just you have to go with the roll with the punches with marriage. It ebbs and flows. Some days I wake up and we might have a great conversation and we are best friends. We are in love. But then sometimes you get to a point where like, it gets on my nerves, but the love is still there. That's the foundation, is the love. So, and I see that with Dr. Damon and Dr. Heavenly, and I enjoy watching them. Now, would I do everything that Dr. Heavenly does for Dr. Damon? Maybe not, but I get it because I saw that with my grandparents. My grandmother was I won't say very submissive. She spoke how she felt, but I guarantee you, when she made food, my granddaddy got the first pick. He got the best piece of chicken. Yes, he did. If my grandfather was at work and she made dinner and he wasn't there for dinner, guess what? Before any of us can eat, she was fixing his plate, putting it in some aluminum foil, putting it back in the oven so it could stay warm. We could not touch any food until she made my grandfather's plate. And that's how she did it. But she didn't have to work. My grandfather worked, I don't know how many jobs, but she didn't have to work. She took care of the household and she took care of the kids. When he came home, he gave her the money. She did what she had. She made, she made, I mean, I don't know, $1 out of 15 cents. Y'all know? I mean, she had 8 kids and she made do and she couldn't read. I mean, my grandmother's my heart. So I see a lot of Dr. Heavenly's ways and I see that that's how my grandmother did. And you always had to choose your battle and pick your fight. So yeah, I said all that to say that I can understand where Dr. Heavenly was coming from. Dr. Contessa says she considers Dr. Heavenly like a sister when she was talking to Dr. Scott. Because he said that he reached out to Dr. Heavenly, sent her a text to let her know that, she was in his thoughts. I think he said he sent it through Dr. Damon. So yeah, that was the proper thing to do. And he let her know, that, she's in thoughts and prayers as her mom is transitioning. And Contessa says she reached out. Dr. Heavenly on her live said she don't remember, so she couldn't confirm or deny. But she said that she reached out and she considers Dr. Heavenly like a sister. They fight like sisters. Dr. Scott says it's a little worse than sisters at this point because the way they're fighting. And I have to agree with Dr. Scott. Like, if you call that a sister, Contessa, I would hate what you see a friend is because you are, I mean, the way the venom that she has with Dr. Heavenly is second to none. And I don't know if it's something else underlying going on with Dr. Contessa, but anything Dr. Heavenly does, she is going from 0 to 100 real quick. Like, Contessa has had her blow ups in the past seasons, but this seems like it's a little bit overboard, if you know what I mean. So Contessa says she always sends Dr. Heavenly inspirational quotes and checks in on her. But if you look at her Instagram, she says she hasn't talked to Dr. Heavenly. So which one is it, Dr. Contessa? Either you're sending her texts and inspirational quotes, or you haven't talked to her since June of last year. Make it make sense for me. So I digress. We're going to move along. So Audra and Dr. Martin goes to their wedding planner. They are planning a big wedding. They did get married, but they got married courthouse. But now she wants a big elaborate wedding that encapsulates her culture. Does all the things that you dreamed of as a young girl, is to have a big wedding. So they're planning that. I think they had a $60,000 budget and they have gone $50,000 over. The wedding planner says that they actually, and then they have on top of that a balance of $40,000. So they have extremely went over their budget. Dr. Martin doesn't look happy about it at all, but I get it. Me and my husband got married at the courthouse too. We said that in 5 years we would probably, once we were able to, we saw the benefit in getting a house and getting that set up, then putting the value into a wedding, a big wedding. So, and I wanted a destination wedding. So I said maybe we could do a vow renewal and make that the big wedding. So that was how we came up with our decision. It seems like, I don't know how long they've been married, but maybe they should have considered, pushing it out a little bit so they can get the money up to get the dream wedding that they want. But hey, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I see the value in weddings. I understand it, but it's more for the other people than you. And the day goes by so fast. And I don't know. I don't see the benefit in doing it, but I know I'm also the type of person, I'm talking out of both sides of my neck. Like when I get something, if I want something, I'm going to get what I want. Not, I don't want to cut corners. I want to get exactly what I want if I'm going to do something. So I get both. I see both sides. I just don't see where, I don't see why, but as I'm thinking about it, I know she has some people coming over from Ghana, so that could take some of the expense in it. I'm not really sure, but yeah, that budget is way, way out there. So Anila and her mom talk about the help she's receiving, and while she does her blogging, Anila's mom had junk everywhere. She had open jelly jars from when the kids were doing their breakfast before school. She would look like she was about to start cooking lunch or something, and she had cleaned up the mess from breakfast. And so Anila is at this time, she's missing Miss Gomez. Miss Gomez got the kids ready. She cleaned the house. I think the only thing she didn't do was take them to school, but she did everything. Anila came home to an immaculate house. Her kids were fed and happy. Avir got his pinto beans, and her mom is not doing that. And her mom basically says you should be teaching your kids to clean up after yourself. Now, two things can be right. Yes, she should be teaching her kids how to clean up after themselves. But if you're gonna come here to help mom, on the other side, or if you're gonna come here to help mom, I need you to help. Don't make it a hindrance or don't make it harder for you to be here. Her mom is not trying to hear nothing Anila got to say. She's raised Anila and she's not trying to hear any feedback. And you get what you get and don't pitch a fit type mentality. So, and I think that could be a cultural thing. I don't know, but Anila, this is why you shouldn't really depend on, like, I don't know. I feel like when you're doing stuff like this, where you're wanting a certain service done and you're wanting it to be done a certain way, then maybe you shouldn't incorporate family, because sometimes this can cause a breakdown in family. I try to keep family and business separate as much as I can. So I think that Anila, while your mom is being helpful, you're aggravated. So what's the opportunity cost? I get help and I'm aggravated and I can't concentrate on what I need to do because I'm annoyed walking down and seeing a junkyard. So I can get my mom to do it and I have this annoyance, or I can get someone that I don't know and try to let them acquiesce to how I want it to be done. Like I can set the ground rules, and if they don't do it, they don't get paid, right? So I think Anila needs to be on the hunt for a good nanny and a good babysitter. They should have got recommendations from Ms. Gomez before she left, but I guess Ms. Gomez said, I'm not putting nobody I know onto this family because they work you like a Hebrew slave, probably. So I get it. I see why Ms. Gomez left. That's a lot of work. You're basically a housekeeper and a nanny. You're Anila, and Anila and Karen just living in the house having a good time, blogging, going to work, and Ms. Gomez is just working, 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 putting the kids to bed, getting them up, doing fixing food. She's doing everything that Anila should be doing. So yeah, Ms. Gomez was tired. Tired, I say tired. So Dr. Jackie does. Oh, and Anila is going to be opening her own hair store where she's going to be selling raw Indian hair. Perfect. Perfect. I think she's following into the footsteps of Dr. Heavenly. She's seeing how successful Dr. Heavenly is, and Anila wants to capitalize on this platform. So I think, hey, is more than enough out there for everyone to eat. So I don't see where anybody should be jealous or feel any type of way. So yeah, I'm excited for Anila, and I hope that works for her. I feel like she'll appeal to a whole different market outside of the what you would call urban market. So she would appeal to some other type of women that may be in the market for luxury hair. Now her business partners look sketch to me, but I don't know. They just look sketch. I didn't get a good vibe from them, but oh well. So Dr. Jackie is meeting. She did a podcast with these two women. They're lesbians, and I guess they were on what's it called, Dumb Gay Podcasters, the Dumb Gay Podcast, and Dr. Jackie did, a segment with them. So they're coming in to get their well woman check, and Dr. Jackie, who always dropped the knowledge, says that even though you're not having the same situation as a heterosexual woman would have, you still need to keep up on your wellness checks and make sure, because you could be susceptible to HPV, because labia to labia contact could cause transference of those HPV cancer cells. So you need to keep updated on those. So that was good information. I didn't know about that. So Dr. Jackie always comes with the knowledge. She's gonna teach us about what's the latest and greatest. I guarantee you, Dr. Jackie's probably gonna have a sex toy line. I can just see it. I see it coming. I see it coming. She and Candy are neck and neck with their businesses, and I see Dr. Jackie getting a sex toy line, and have anatomically correct parts. I just see it being Dr. Jackie doing something. Mark my words. We'll see when it comes out. So the men arrive at Dr. Karen's office for a bourbon, burgers, and Botox event. They're getting massages. They're getting I don't think there was a petty, but they're getting manicures. Dr. Karen said they can get injectables for Botox. And so the men were down for everything except the Botox. They felt like that was more like along the lines for the women. So clearly Dr. Karen must get Botox. And he says Anila is his I don't say test dummy. He called her a pin cushion, where, he tries something out and she's always agreeable. And when something new comes out. So Anila seems to love it. She says she hasn't had a frown mark or headlines or anything in years. So, hey, you got an in-house plastic surgeon. What more can you ask for? As Dr. Scott comes in, he greets everybody. Damon immediately kind of backs back. He said he sounded sick, sounded a little congested. Dr. Scott plays in and said, nah, nothing wrong. So hopefully he doesn't have any issues and don't get any of the other men sick. Um, Dr. Dr. Eugene, well, Toya and Dr. Eugene are on their confessional, and as Dr. Eugene are asking the men, are they enjoying their women's O shots? Toya, she wish. Toya says that the O shot has made Eugene lazy, and then so Eugene shuts her down. That she acts like she's some type of sex goddess that she's not. So I don't know. I don't know. The banter between these two is funny. So I don't know when they tend to banter a lot and poke fun at each other. So I think that's just their thing. I don't think he takes offense to anything Toya says because they just go back and forth and do digs at each other. So let's see. Dr. Damon talks about pellets he got for his testosterone. He said it made him feel like he was in 8th grade again, and he was around here humping on everything. So I'm pretty sure Dr. Heavenly was getting wore out by Dr. Damon when he had it. She told him he couldn't have it anymore. That was how bad it was going down in the Kimes household. Um, Dr. Eugene's, is having a heart to heart with Dr. Damon and saying he doesn't understand why he's working so hard. His heart isn't in ER no more, and he is thinking strongly about making a change in a different direction or doing something that would that he's more passionate about. So Dr. Damon is just like listening to him, and as he is venting about ER. And, Dr. Damon is in agreement because he said he had to leave because he would, sometimes find himself just like so in a funk. And he just, didn't see where he had a way out. And once he did the pain medicine clinics, that gave him the rejuvenation that he needed. And his family also saw a change in his attitude as well. So I'm going to say, I get having a job. I have a job as well. I have a full-time job. And I get when you are passionate about something, the energy that you put into something that you're passionate about versus something that you are doing out of necessity and you are being dragged into doing it. It's like sometimes you feel like you are kicking and screaming or dragging yourself into a job. Quick quick little side story. So for instance, I worked in a call center one time and I hated the job. Like I remember driving down to the parking area, and I remember having tears in my eyes, and I just really hated the job, but I needed it because I needed to support my lifestyle. I needed to pay my rent, all these other things. But I just literally, it was hard to come into that office and to just to come in feeling already beat down and just miserable. It was a miserable experience, and it was a miserable existence to come in upset, leaving upset, you stressed out, and it just that you're just not your best self. So I can understand how Dr. Eugene is feeling when you are miserable in something that you do, but you have to do it for your family. So yes, when you're feeling like that, I'm encouraging everyone out there. If you ever feel like that, find out what your purpose is. I do purpose readings. Find out what your purpose is and work towards that. Find a career that aligns more with your purpose, or get the outlet where you're doing more of your purpose. I do YouTube as I watch TV anyway, and I like to talk about these things. So I'm like, this is a purpose for me. This is something that I enjoy doing. So it doesn't feel like work for me at this time. But when it does, I'm going to shut it down. But I just understand how that feels, and I encourage anyone out there who's feeling like that to seek other things so you won't. That's a miserable, like life should be lived. You should be, enjoying life. We are not meant to live a life full of being miserable, waking up miserable, being upset with your family, wanting to be alone, depressed. That's not a life that we are put here to live. We are just existing and not living, and we should be living our life, enjoying life, living life to the fullest. That's why we're here. So let's move on. I'll get off my soapbox, but someone say, get to the point. So, Dr. Toya, why am I calling her Dr. Toya? Toya arrives to see her spiritual advisor, Lady C. She says she doesn't have an outlet and couldn't talk to Eugene, so she sought out a spiritual advisor to help her work through some of her issues. Toya says something happened to Eugene during the pandemic, and it's just something that she was going through something, but she felt like she couldn't even talk to Eugene because he was going through something. So they just feel like they're two ships passing in the night at this point. They should be able to bounce off of each other. One should be able to support the other, but neither one of them are feeling support because they are both miserable for whatever reason. Dr. Eugene is miserable in his profession, and Toya is because Dr. Eugene is miserable in his profession. He's not as engaging in his household, which is probably in turn making Toya miserable. So it's a domino effect. This is why we should be living a fulfilled life. So Dr. Eugene goes and visit Dr. Damon to get a little bit more insight on eventually leaving the ER. So Dr. Damon is, encouraging Dr. Eugene to go ahead and seek something out. It's not too late. Dr. Eugene said, I remember when you were so happy about walking into the ER and doing your job, and to see you like this, he's like, that tugs at him. So yeah, I hope Dr. Eugene finds his path and what he's supposed to do, finds an outlet, because it's going to be a never ending cycle, being miserable in his marriage and everything like that. It's just hopefully it won't result in them breaking apart. Hopefully they have a strong enough foundation to withstand it. And maybe even Toya can help support him and find something for him that he could do that might give him that zest for life again. But Toya, like she told her therapist, she doesn't feel like she's getting anything in return from Dr. Eugene, so she doesn't have anything to give him. They gotta find their mojo back. They gotta get it going again, because it's just going to continue to crumble and eat at the foundation of their relationship. And I like them as a couple. I like their banter. I just think that right now they're going through something and could stand a lot of. I feel like they could do some spiritual healing as a couple. That might help them to get where they need to be. Just doing something together as a couple, and to really get back in tune with each other so they can talk. Because Dr. Eugene told her a few episodes back that it felt like he was walking in mud. So, but Toya has to really listen and be sympathetic, empathetic, listen to what he's trying to say, and maybe even offer some suggestions, or maybe even doing something that shows that she cares for him, and so that he knows that he's being supported by his wife in this time. So Lady C tells Toya to, do some journaling, girl. I hope she's not paying for no for no help from Lady C, because I didn't see where the help was. She was getting much from Lady C, but maybe they just didn't show it. But she had a nice office. I liked her office. It gave me some ideas for my office. So Anila comes down and she, has her, she has her heart to heart with her mom. Her mom is just not adhering to the rules. She's keeping the house junky. She can't effectively blog and stuff because the house is junky. And they just need to have a meeting of the minds. Like I said before, Anila, just spend the money and get you a nanny that you pay for. That way you won't feel guilty about firing them because they don't have any relationship with you. And eventually you'll find another Miss Gomez. So that's basically it in a nutshell. That was the whole episode. Like I said, it didn't much happen. Maybe I missed some things. Let me know. Comment down below if I missed some things that you wanted to discuss. But yeah, I again encourage everyone to follow your purpose or get a career that aligns close to your purpose. I will leave a link in the description box to have a reading with me if you want a reading to maybe get clarity around your purpose or just to find out a little bit more information about your purpose. I might do a separate video discussing that and my process and everything and how I help people determine their purpose. But yeah, I'll leave a link down below. I don't have anything else. Look forward to Married at First Sight coming this week. I might, put something else out there. Just a little quick 15 minutes, maybe nothing too long. I don't want to belabor the point. But yeah, if you enjoyed this recap, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, comment down below. What are your thoughts? And hit the notification button so you'll be notified of any other videos that I put out. I'm looking to expand my channel, so I need you all's support. And I will do my part. I just need y'all to do y'all part and support your girl. I'm here and I want to give good, honest feedback. And I don't have relationships with none of these people. So I try to be as honest as possible. Some of these reviews, I'm like, I know these are, people that you're friendly with. So are you giving your honest review, your honest take on it? So yeah, I don't know them. So you get my honest take on them. And I sprinkle a little spirituality in there. Again, I appreciate y'all. I'm not going to keep talking. Love you all. Find your purpose. Until the next time. Peace.